Wisk ne wassa jajak. Wisk. Ni wassa jietäkö. On ne koorha. Oata ni haru. Skat ne. Te kaaner on ne. Oate niitä stakku. Ne wisk. Ni kanakerassa raake. Skasse jietä ne. Ne koontum. Skanakerassa tanu ne. Ori huokueku. Wisk. Naate kaaner on ne. Koontum. Ja te kuna gestu ne. Ohun saa sumua ne. Radina tukkua wisk. Ne kajanerossa raake. Raunu hutsa.
5 strings of shell tied together as one shall represent the 5 nations. Each string shall represent one territory, and the whole a completely united territory known as the 5 nations territory.
Wisk ne wasson saata. Wisk niinku. Kajon kuire. Juhniiruti. Skat ne. Te kaanero ne. Ne kaatuti. Radi satste ne wisk. Ni hono ko jaaketi. Na hono gestu. Aska. Wandum. Skanutista. Skajerunta tanu. Skani humra. Skat ne. Tio. Ahadi anero serungi tanu. Skat ne. Ahadi sohayo seke. Ne. Ako tsanunya ne. Tahati kusoduce. Rudianessu. Skat ne. Ohutute. Nek ne. Sakaksa. Ne. Jori. Janito. Otassum. Sinigari wes. Te hunatskaahun. Ja tamste. Na hoto. Jo tie. Ona. Ki ne. Ja tatrene. Tanu. Ahun tene kun sahlisu. Akuekun. Sina hoto. Ahun te nyata ne. Hoti ne kun sahlisu.
5 arrows shall be bound together very strong, and shall represent 1 nation each. As the 5 arrows are strongly bound, this shall symbolize the complete union of the nations. Thus are the 5 nations completely united and unfolded together, united into 1 head, 1 body, and 1 mind. They therefore shall labor, legislate, and counsel together for the interest of future generations.
Nene saadissa ne. Optiga. Otin nagarassa komuni. Teka navida. Kussa konatumassa. Uskada daina. Ne. Ajongire. Se kothaajakin asana. Så kusknivo kanyangwe watharige so adenyanta da hayare ekna sabana admasiti adi sastana wiskni adi nitme aska agari. Note, when the Confederacy was formed, the Ranawida actually demonstrated by taking 1 arrow and breaking it in half. Then he took 5 arrows and tried to break it to show how strong the 5 nations can become.
Wisk ne wasa sa te ku. Ona gāti wisk. Ni wono ho chāke rudia neksu. Torum nete. Tō naka tana tsawāku. Te hoti naha. Rane. Atu. Toka. Unka ne royane. Ahari wara ako ne. Chi. Kachohayo. Toka ni. Ero. Orete ne. Kanake rakshara. Rauna kara. Wade ne to stakku. Jiroyane. Te kahnera hache ne. Rauya taken ha sera sua. Onke niya to tahte ne chi. Te hona tateno tsawaku. Ne rudia neksu. O hoti ne. Rau sana tanu ne. Rau nakara. No te waasa ne chi. Te ho kākeru te. Nek chi. Kanu sunike. Onka yono take. Toka shika oni. Tika onio. Kaani kaya ne. Royanes ne. On haraku. Aha shere ne. Raudia ne rakshara ne. Ki honu ho chate. On hoya to tāku ne. Kanu suni. Tanu ne. Un karesu. On nahadiere ne. On hunte nātu kwe. Te hona tu kohtu. Tono ho diata one. Tika onio unka. Toka. On hatishere. Ti hono ho chate. Raudia ne rakshara. A kweku o hoti. Na hota. Ahaya takwe nioke. Tanu. Ahoyo take ne wisk. Ni hono ho chake. Tanu chinu. Ni hati nakere. Ishe wisk. Ni chung ho chake. Se wa ya ne rakshara. Se wa shatste. On kumuni ne. Okwire. To akar hieno ne chi. Te so wata teno tsawaku. Yaki. Takwe ni. Taye se wa kashi. Toka ni. Taye se wa sotarishi. Tonichi. Anka tsutegechi. Oshka. Shewatum.
There are now the Five Nations League chiefs standing with joined hands in a circle. This signifies and provides that should any of the chiefs of the league leave the council and the league, his crown of deer's antlers, the emblem of his chieftainship title, together with his birthright, shall lodge on the arms of the Union chiefs, whose hands are so joined. He forfeits his title and the crown falls from his brow, but it shall remain in the league. A further meaning of this is that if any time any one of the chiefs of the league choose to submit to the law of a foreign people, he is no longer in but out of the league, and persons of this class shall be called, they have alienated themselves. Likewise, such persons who submit to laws of foreign nations shall forfeit all birthrights and claims on the League of Five Nations and territory. You, the League of Five Nations chiefs, be firm, so that if a tree should fall upon your joined hand, it shall not separate you or weaken your hold. So shall the strength of union be preserved.
Nena gandu gigener no goyom ka hadis ne danasra aksen mutadi nagere nega ne oni togaya dor ne jomani di Canada ro now in nai like you know sto rono oya nasra o mo so ya nasra oni ano nena gandu wanda jatun tago giga jone ni radio nagrasra nega gandu nada yung na luno mo tuwa ni na kanya aga ka akte no to tuna jopaga ni ta dan jopaga ni na yo so ga ni jopaga ni sa na di na ga Canada don yo sto rona di orasa osti aso to so dia dan ye da tudo so dia do sta yo aso di wa net rona general now no kanya ga ana ga asra ne to ni zero na ju next suji ko tukni waderi what adi no what adi news ka te izi ya to ni jo pagani ga Canada o ne di not no band council to when you store owner tribal council yet and jo pagani ne saga ne toni Giocovene Canada non noi doni Giocovenis toni Ostorono toni Giocovenis. Note, this means that the Indians who follow the laws made by foreigners, and it includes Canada's Indian Act and the U.S. federal Indian law, and have alienated the Indians from their own nations. That is why an Indian such as a Mohawk who voted in the elections devised by the Canadian or U.S. governments have to be reinstated in a special ceremony to regain their lost Indian citizenship they lost by the simple act of voting in the Canadian Bank Council or U.S. Tribal Council elections, as well as voting in Canada's national or the U.S. national elections.
Which can watch a joke. Tokka. Gasherietäke, une kourha. Ahsan, ni haksake, ni nos. Nene, neko, eneko, ne, karako. Nio, etake, nukuati, asano, kahunti. No ne tano, akweku. Sate tonat kaone, wisk. Ni hono muchake, lununque, tirudishum. Ne kontu. Ja tučeste, skanučista, skajerunta, tanu seuanu tunutsera, tanu ne skono, karihua nirats rutissu, ne rudianetsu, ne wisk, ni hunu hutsake, ne tinu karako, ni jot ne. Une kourha ne kandu ne kunungue tanu ne chinu ne kahu chine ne kandu nunungue ne o ni kandu ne kahu chi une kourha ka satsapsera tanu ronawish ne kalihua tōka na hōta. Am tahunu une runungko. Ne kiko a sherie une ko hane ronawish ne ngwesumwa a unsa sakuti haharate ne wantahara kurutiane toka shiko toka ni hati nerutiane toka ni akweku chini hati ahutahita chinu yaste huadiri huawine ngwesumwa tanu mutsarate ne ka nistopsera autiwana wa seno sawarate tone kadi tonyo kaha chi nu kudi changayo takwane kana haragwe ne kunu kwane wisk ni hono mochake toka ne rutiane wanate to aso nyokayo te tanu sekun ya tamtahum sabate tone I ona tonyo hawe radishnu shake yongara ne nunukwe ne wisk ni hunu hochake ona kadi ne ashare o wasum atuanu ne ka satstam sera tanu am tahunu tu wa hodia ne serayota ne ya huntawe ate ahua recharu ne royaner tokani rutianer ahu tiri huaguarishu tamtahu kedechi yohahaksanchi nyahane toka rutianer ohutahusrate ohuniru oyohane te akori huasera ko toka tkayeri chinichi tahadiri huasera ko tanum ta jataru ne kaya nere ko to ne kadi ne rutianesum shadia tatsum asechi o shadiri hua nirate tanu ta tutka ne kali hua nirats kone korha tone ono asare koatsum o shagunatadi nerudianer o shagutihre charum ahudiri hua gorishum toka shiko nerutianer ya tam date ne ahuntahusadate ne ashahatum na huati hirori te yuri wake onwatu onwata shawa toka ne runung kwachi roticho hayo on novets ne ta hun sha hun wana kara hra ko neroyaner tokani rutianer tokani tan shagudi no ware ekun chiniore ni hei. Toka ne rauti sahaku ne ahati raako ne ahunsa sakudiru jake. Asare koa Jongo taha se ne rojaner tokani rutianer tanu aharu se waja nessu ne voi se waraku ne tossa ai se wasere Tini ori hoto ne kaya nere koa ona kaati Ua akwari hoana te chi Yahunka te tetskote Chinu ni se wachos tanu Tosa kuana karahara aku ne Kayeru nitsta kone ruyaner Ako ora Aswatia tara aku ne To Osuja Ona kaati Sasawani tskotako Toka shiko ne Runungwe Chiru di changhaya ne Ahati rako ne Tegeni hatu Yohate Ashare koa Isaku tuori ne Runungwe Toyo tauya te chi Tudi changhaya Toyo chi Rabi skotu ne rudianer Rua diri hinte No na Tate wea no ta ne Ashare koa Ja, te hono tekstu ti Royena waaku ne Kahunti One korha A serie sua A sako rori Ne Radiri huaksa Rudianer Ona kaati Se wajane ne Wisk Ni hono hunchake Se watantek O nako ka Ante chiwanara kwene Su kweta suma Yate se watahum sadatu Ne punungkwe Ya kedicha mayo Yu chiri wanuntumuni Tauntu se wakete Ja te chia tahum sadatu Ne runungkwe Kanagera shara kweku Ye chiri wa ne kone Tkayeri chinichi Aye so wata sawo Se wate nu chista niratu chi Ya tamda yunu tu ne Bosuma Tanu ya Tamda ye chi o ne Kari hua wari shukchara Aska Tukuayo ne Aya wata sawo To ne ono ne Ashare koa Aha ka oe ne Kahunchi one gorha E taake Joka yota ne Tanu ne Runungkwe Tong hatita ne Tanu Tong sakudini ware epu Nerutiane te ohoti nyosko chini ore omni heye toka kane royane on shaba trewa te o hontu chini ore o te washo ne o ne gorha yaki tamuayo ne kaunchi o ne gorha ne yako kayo deresta oji rajaschi kaya tatone roots takwane ashabudillo nekchi o watugi o shadigetsco ne rununque katke tahun tom mucho we o shoneta o tanu o shutste ne raudi shaksta shara tanu ne ahunta nutu chiniyot chi watroli. A bunch of wampum strings, 3 spans of the hand in length, the upper half of the bunch being white and the lower half black, and formed from equal contributions of the men of the 5 nations, shall be the token that the men have combined themselves into one head, one body, and one thought. And it shall symbolize their ratification of the peace pact of the League, whereby the chiefs of the 5 nations have established the great peace. The white portion of the shell strings represents the women and the black portion the men. The black portion, furthermore, is a token of power and authority vested in the men of the 5 nations. This string of wampum vests the people with the right to correct their erring chiefs. In case a part of the chiefs or all of them pursue a course not vouched for by the people and heed not the 3rd warning of their women relatives, then the matter shall be taken to the General Council of the women of the 5 nations. If the chiefs notified and warned 3 times fail to heed, then the case falls into the hands of the men of the 5 nations. The war chiefs shall then, by right of such power and authority, enter the open council to warn the chiefs or chief to return from the wrong course. If the chiefs heed the warning, they shall say, "We shall reply tomorrow." If then an answer is returned in favor of justice and in accord with the great law, then the chiefs shall individually pledge themselves by again furnishing the necessary shells for the pledge. Then shall the war chief or chiefs exhort the chiefs, urging them to be just and true. Should it happen that the chiefs refuse to heed the 3rd warning, then 2 courses are open. Either the men may decide in their council to depose the chief or chiefs, or to club them to death with war clubs. Should they, in their council, decide to take the 1st course, the war chief shall address the chief or chiefs, saying, "Since you, the chiefs of the 5 nations, have refused to return to the procedure of the Constitution, we now declare your seats vacant, and we take off your horns, the token of your chieftainship, and others shall be chosen and installed in your seats. Therefore vacate your seats." Should the men in their council adopt the 2nd course, the war chief shall order his men to enter the council, to take positions behind the errant chiefs, sitting between them wherever possible. When this is accomplished, the war chief, holding in his outstretched hand a bunch
of black wampum strings shall say to the Aryan chiefs, So now, chiefs of the 5 nations, hearken to these last words from your men. You have not heeded the warnings of the General Council of Women, and you have not heeded the warning of the men of the nations, all urging you to the right course of action. Since you are determined to resist and to withhold justice from your people, there is only one course for us to adopt. At this point, the war chief shall drop the bunch of black wampum, and the men shall spring to their feet and club the Aryan chiefs to death. Any Aryan chief may become submissive before the war chief lets fall the black wampum. The black wampum here used symbolizes that the power to execute is buried, but it may be raised up again by the men. It is buried, but when the occasion arises, they may pull it up and derive their power and authority to act as here described. Awesome.
Nene kantu kikana rudi wavis nunca asagudirio. Kikana so the jufa design nunga okina agu design kununga wish no zari. No ni rudi wavis na ni jono sta anderio. Kikana asare go asago ne Raujoqua. Kikana wa wani jaradenyo. Aze on madina bene reane ya na sare go kikana Raujoqua. Negana Ruderius Raujoqua. Stoa is now the njöskas, nizi rödviga aim. Kikana sa diadadana, the stapa. Ne anua diadadana na pundeliga na slagere, etasam de rio. Ene da diadadana, tovaga, nunca siga rivano za derivadvana, din zoa vario. Ene da diadadana. Kone tegonigat kene amario. Quindi now ona che tossiga hawi sadiada dana di stapa tu asigo quindi non di go rodare non nunca vario sti asne d'acqua di stapa ya now da di ababa che ganti riva di ababa. Note: the right to decide on execution is held by both the General Council of the Men of the 5 nations and the General Council of the Women of the 5 nations. So is the right to decide on war. The war chief shall order his men. In the present century, a new title has been given to the war chief and his men, the Warrior Society.
Ja, ni wasa. Unegorha. Hajata ha. Asha ni wasa. Sategu. Nika negorha ge. Na de watagaru. Asha nuwe. Weriapsare. Chiutunyo. Tegenisum. Teo te kerunte, ci te ka chine tararu tano, a hueku to. Ya te wa suderunyo ne, a weriane. Ne wa te nyo to stako, ci aska. Ronatun une wiskni wono ho chape. To ne juchero takko. Dio to kerunte. Skano kwadi nu a. Nene, kanyong te haka, rau dia na rau shara tanu. Rau no hucha, te ke ni hatu. Te o te ke runte, tanu, ak tachi. Weria share. Ni hatia tōru ne. Oni o te haka. Tanu ne. Rau no hucha, tanu. Karako. Ni weria share. Asana no. Negi ne. Ono take haka tanu ne. Rau no hucha. Ne o ni kontu ne. Aweria ne wisk ni hono hucha ke. Oska igonchi. Ta nesne. Skena ko tanu. Tunu ne. Skena ko wa. Ni o te naktuni. Aweria sabu. Ono take haka. Rudia neshum. Tanu tonu. Na hati chahayata. Kwa ke. Ne wisk. Ni hunu muchake. Ne o ni kontu ne. Tuwanawi ne. Ya hati rege ne skono. Amtu ne. Akte nu. Radi nagara sharageru. Ahuntorishaji. Tentata wotos. Ne te yutukerum te chi. Chikawiya te tako. Nungwadi ne. Weria share. Wehu. Uhaka. Radia toru. Tanu ne. Rau hucha tanu ne. Kayeri hatu. Te yutukerum te ne. Rau nao ne. Chanu to wane haka tanu. Rau no hucha. Ne arihuni karaka. Watch them. Ne chi ne. Ankaya derestako chi. Ya tam tu ne. Ka ni ko praksa. Toka ni. Ka no shatra. Aja te naktuni ne. Ne rau di ni humraku ne ruti aner. Chi ruti chahayo. Au shana ku ne. Shkena kowa. Kara ku ne. Ade nya dotra ne skono. Kano quatra. Atati toro. Tano ne. Chaka yoktu. Te hona quatajetu tano. Rutini kumrare ne. Muskni murumutake. A broad belt of wampum of 38 rows, having a white heart in the center, on either side of which are 2 white squares, all connected with the heart by white rows of beads, shall be the emblem of the unity of the 5 nations. The first of the squares on the left represents the Mohawk Nation and its territories. The second square on the left and near the heart represents the Oneida Nation and its territory, and the white heart in the middle represents the Onondaga Nation and its territory. It also means that the heart of the 5 nations is single with its loyalty to the Great Peace, and that the Great Peace is lodged in the heart, meaning with Onondaga League chiefs, and that the council fire is to burn there for the 5 nations. Further, it means that the authority is given to advance the cause of peace, whereby hostile nations out of the League shall cease warfare, The white square to the right of the heart represents the Cayuga Nation and its territory, and the fourth and last square represents the Seneca Nation and its territory. White here symbolizes that no evil nor jealous thoughts shall creep into the minds of the chiefs while in council under the Great Peace.
Ieri na triado. Kayuni na ora ajadata. Ay wata rosso. Nella agadogus kario de gastorni. Ono ononi na kanregoa. Note, the above wampum belt was made by Ayunwata to commemorate the making of the great law.
Jajak wassanska. Toka tenon tauene. Tiutenu hienittu. Tahuna ani kun haarone. Runut hetanune. Tahati kussutuce ne wisk. Ni honu hujaake. Ne unkka. On hakweni. On haratha. Nau haa enneko tutpuirate. No yo rawe okuirako yatum. Yatum hatkathunyuwe tanu toka tena on hatkathune yutteru tawe. On shakohrori ne wisk ni hunu hojaake ronatkonisho okuiroku ne skana koa tano aharu yuri wachani te wani kun harane se wachanunya Tone ono neroyaner. On hadicho hayatano. On trodiate. Kiko. Tawe. Wahitko. Tanu yotteru. No. Ori huakuekuchi. Oho na te rio tarane kiko. Na hoto tawe. Tō neki. On hati piri shake. Ne. Akara chiko tanu. No. On hati chori. Tō. Tontara like tanu. Tō. On tera karonchi. Yokteru te. Nona. On hati yok ton sherotane onaki. Ohuti hareke. Ohutsonumni. Eso. Oni sherake. Ofnako.
Should a great calamity threaten the generations rising and living of the 5 nations, then he who is able to climb to the top of the tree of the long leaves may do so. When he reaches the top of the tree, he shall look about in all direction, and should he see evil things indeed approaching, then he shall call to the people of the 5 united nations assembled beneath the tree of the great peace, and say, a calamity threatens your happiness. Then shall the chiefs convene in council and discuss the impending evil. When all the truths relating to the trouble shall be fully known and found to be truths, then shall the people seek a tree the great swamp elm tree, and when they shall find it, they shall assemble their heads together and lodge for a time between its roots. Then, their labors being finished, they may hope for happiness for many days after.
Nanaga gigana wonze the dinagere nongwe nana tana savana rugata no weso and then do a tana don't the war hara dan ho truri ade dan ju kan hold and they want it job and to nearly war. No, this is ancient man's way of warning the people to ever be on the alert to danger, discuss it and do something about it.
Nona, roti chahayo ne, whisk, ni huno hunzake. Toka ang nohitste ne, de wana no tunne, achata na, one koha. Samwe ne hiara ne, kaya narapsara suma. Mua kwatakwase ne, rawana no tane. Yo netska jinu na hacho. Ya tamsamste na kogi jinu na hacho. Ahati kwenyoste ne, jini yori hoano kaya narapsara.
When the League of the Five Nations Council declares for a reading of the belts of shell to mind these laws, they shall provide for the reader a specifically made mat woven of the fibers of wild hemp. The mat shall not be used again, for such formality is called honoring the importance of the law.
Katkene eniashe, ruadia ane, te hoti tara kechi, kachon hote, sade niri wanumwe nechi, yaskanix, nahunatumte, ne, ang te wana no tum ne kaya nere koa, tanum, saya ne yara ne chinichi luri wata tu ne roksum ne kanu suni unwe unwa rori ne tato takho asaku ni kumbli sake whisk ni hadi ne rora setsan rudianes tanu runuha se saguti ni kumrisa kene sa te hunta te ko ukua rudianesu toka o hunere asaguti ni kumrayeri tene tenia se roadia a te hoti tarake atotahu yasagotori radiri huakarenyes sagoti rori chinihati ne rodianetso ne whisk mi wini hunu chake tone ono yung huatori ne asare ko asago roriana ne rutate ko hatanu rora se ogum rudiane shonchi rutkani sa an he tanu katke tanu kanue nono akweku wahunta ja taro roke ato tarhu tahadiena ne rora se ogum rudiane Ohuari hunta sayata ne royaner ahawana notu kaya nere koa ajata ha ahona tunde ne eniashe roa dia a tone ona roa ya tarako na neta ne kaya nere koa.
Should two sons of opposite sides of the council fire agree in a desire to hear the reciting of the laws of the Great Peace and so refresh their memories in a way specified by the founder of the League, they shall notify Adodarho. He shall consult with 5 of his cousin chiefs, and they in turn shall consult with their 8 brethren. Then should they decide to accede to the request of the 2 sons from the opposite sides of the council fire, Adodarho shall send messengers to notify the chiefs of each of the 5 nations. Then they shall dispatch their war chief to notify their brother and cousin chiefs of the meeting and its time and place. When all have come and have assembled, Adodarho, in conjunction with his cousin chiefs, shall appoint 1 chief who shall repeat the laws of the Great Peace to the 2 sons. Then the chosen one shall repeat the laws of the Great Peace.
The niasugigana na yaskatan de hunitskota kigana gazahu. And I got the neden the anesso, the next honungwe, yet the honor. Tanegi tununi hadiana, kigana akte na the hunitskota. Ne don datkana ne gazahu. The darko whisk you were out late, so. The national, and I got no. Then I often was religious, and I design on dog. And so they go, you know, they go, then I got the national. Then they turn what the religious, to what the Harajas. Then I got to Giga, now how I know. Taking out the guy at the how I know. Scanana Giganias with the Ogoa. Tonora Nanava Oliva Wagon was strong, so the overnight. Note: 2 sons of the opposite sides of the council fire means 2 ordinary men, non-chiefs, who are members of different clans who sit opposite each other across the council fire. Adodarho's 5 cousin chiefs means those who sit opposite him on the Daga council. Their 8 brethren means brother chiefs who sit on the same side of the council fire. It would seem that the wampum reader repeats, that is, reads the great law twice, once to the 2 sons and then to everybody.
Ja knivosakajeri. Nonna, juteri huohtojune. Nonna, juteri huohtojune. Te muadina karaheha. Ne rojaner. Toka sajatak ramoterune. Ravejotene. Ahatati tanu ahatero no tane kaya nere ko tanu ne skono karona toya taha ne chiga chompote tano no aha sasuk ishi nakachonhati nyoho re tano ram ha tao sababeri o sera kwashe ta de charu kwaji saku yo se chini ore akweko aha sa ne ohwana to we tekeni te haku so de ne chi ta de charu kwaji kachon hayo wahatati tanu wahateronotam.
At the ceremony of the installation of chiefs, if there is only one expert speaker and singer of the law in the song of peace to stand at the council fire, then when this speaker and singer has finished addressing one side of the fire, he shall go to the opposite side and reply to his own speech and song. He shall act for both sides of the fire until the entire ceremony has been completed. Such a speaker and singer shall be termed two-faced, because he speaks and sings for both sides of the fire.
Vaadin was so hard, sinne jätte teke haaras, yani sinne jaudi teine vuorare. Se jamasti muuttelili doktor. Ja jätte takan veda nuka on saada adidan on sondero noga. Negi on tona hadi etiga nuka aveniadra noga ja dohjadiste. Note, the people can become lax and negligent and suddenly find themselves without the right kind of speakers and singers. And so they have to do that.
Jäjäkni wassa wisk. Ite kana viita tanu nerudiane. Wa akwa kuirochi. Namhaa. Jukuires. Skaran hese koa tanu ne. O usua kaharunta ne. Tuya unkwati. Akweku ne. Yuderi ustakwa. Inu. Omso Kanyatareño, Chuknawateño, Yati un quadrillion tare. Kanye teño tarino, Tunya un quati, a quecune, Yuderio stacqua, Yusaya qua coro te tanu, to, Saya qua qui rotan. Toni chine skana koa wa kayo ta ne tanu o deri hua tu ne tai nyu ta che su ji na ta hunteru ne wisk ni hunu mo chake nek mas kayo ta ne skono ji na tu tere ne ya tu na gesto wisk no mo chake.
I, the Ganawida, and the United Chiefs now uproot the tallest tree, and into the hole thereby made we cast all weapons of war into the depths of the earth, down into the deep underneath currents of water. Flowing to unknown regions, we cast all the weapons of strife. We bury them from sight, and we plant again the tree. Thus shall the great peace be established, and hostilities shall no longer be known between the 5 nations, but peace to the united people.
Then going to give whiskey on the Zaga, where are the other than now the year start? And the more times on the year in the Tatans on the don't want to. And the Yaki, and on this not the not the whiskey on the Zaga. The cooking was soon up what then you get your stock for Hawaii. Nunca a Hawaii for Saudaninus. Tam gigan the trolley to Canadain on the Gonso. Tunya Vetunoya, you know, northern Orlando, you stop. And then now and soon up what they're gonna go Hawaii, you stop. To go to Kenya and then on the Gonso. I get your own done. Canada, the other in Adova. Nunca de Datsus. Men yes, di mora där. Allora är så io hjälpte som hade dina naglar. Jag visste någon om att dagar. Det signore Sakayandane Aska var hon nu kan sunniga. Jag gick in igen och Sakayandane. Det så snart det är när. Jag gick ner gång det här. Jag är där jag där och det är stopp och jag gick ner. Det är jättehundar. Note. The 5 nations buried their weapons of war so they'll never fight and kill each other again, and they haven't. They only unburied the war club to execute the traitor. Now that's a strange thing to say. If there's an underwater current down down deep in the earth, then how can they unbury the hatchet? But that's how it went. But they say here that they didn't bury the hatchet to all their enemies, for they fought numerous wars and battles after the Iroquois Confederacy was founded and the Great Law was established.
Jajak ni vaše jajak. Sakujaan rumpe. Toka. Joku ja taskats. Jytä voi jestaa. Toka ni esoji. Ja voi ja tehtenu. Toka ni esoji. Jytä tenu ruppaa. Toka on tatene yeksaa aku tara on haraku ne kasona ne roniha sini ho tarota kasana suma tanu on sako sonu Sini hadieha ne sabudissanawis. Ja tjejut utakku. Tanu ne on hadinaatuppe. Rossananjo. Tokani yussananjo.
Adoptions. Number 66. The father of a child of great comeliness, learning, ability, or specially loved because of some circumstances may, at the will of the child's clan, select a name from his own, the father's clan, and bestow it by ceremony such as is provided. The naming is only temporary and shall be called a name hung about the neck.
Nagana gituni adeha to do yaravas. Nää kaudella sua, kun ei irgiti niin jos tanssewa. Note, adoptions is how the clans are kept at full strength.
Jäjäkni vasta saata. Toka unkkaane visk. Nimun jaage. On haskaane kenne. Unkka. Ahussaanun. Tokani. Ashavussaanun. Ne tihoti taarate. Tokani. Tihoti nagarasharate. On waatu ne. On haraaku ne. Kassaana tanu. On savussaanun. Tuniiti. Wadei vasta jaatu tiniio. Savudissanaawis. Järtsi jotkut tappu. Tanune. On hatinaatuppe. Rossaana jo. Tokani. Jossaana jo. Konika se jätessä. On tavat kauan. Tanune. Kassaana. On tewe joon tuketanu. On kalihua niraatu.
Should any person, a member of the League of Five Nations, especially a man or a woman of another clan or of a foreign nation, he may choose a name bestowed upon that person so esteemed. The naming shall be in accord with the ceremony of bestowing names. Such a name is only temporary and shall be called a name hung about the neck. A short string of shells shall be delivered with the name as a record and a pledge.
Nonkin tunti savudissaanu. Nene sai. Yli huana. Kun ne vuoraa pohjiste, tano, aadeli vaan hiljaa.
Toka unkkaane visk. Nihunu huojaake. Skahuotiratsun. Tokani. Tsukuetatsun. Tihunu huojaate. Ahadiri wanuntune. Ahun jaataro. Katsukni kaayo jini. Taara kenne visk. Nihunu huojaake. On tahtkawe. Tokani. On tuntkawe ne. One koorha. Se wapsa nios. Ne. Raudiri wahniratsera. Ne. Raudi taara kun chinu. Lune here. Ang jaataro. Tona ona ne. Rudianes ne. Kanakera sera. Tahatia torette. Tanu. Ahadiri wahte.
Should any member of the Five Nations, a family, or a person belonging to a foreign nation submit a proposal for adoption into a clan of one of the Five Nations, he or she shall furnish a string of shells, a span in length, as a pledge to the clan into which he or they wish to be adopted. The chiefs of the nation shall then consider the proposal and submit a decision.
Nene kaado, ikana savudissaanu. Nää jagan saa adis hastane naga daga darguzan joko sai saradia hondo next daga adi wanu anen ner radianer tona gi wada adi son se che uno este a design kan skana grasats. Note, adoptions is how the clans are kept at full strength. But the adoption has to be passed and approved by the Chiefs Council of the nation. When they agree, then they pass on the adoption, and they have a new member. The chiefs have to agree.
Jajak ne wahsi johtu. Tika o niyo, ka ne wisk. Ni wono mu jaake ka. Tawo mu joni as hakuya dinyo tene. Chukweta. Ska ho jira toka ni toka. Ni ka ho jira ke. Umatu ne ogori wanung tu se. Toka ni ang saburi wanung tu se tanong toka ang hadiri wanung wane tonyo hadiri wong hawe chinu ang tadika ang yun nerutianer tanong onakchi ang tadiri wa nira te tano ang novetste nerutianer.
Any member of the 5 nations who through esteem or other feelings wishes to adopt an individual, a family, or a number of families may offer adoption to him or them, and if accepted, the matter shall be brought to the attention of the chiefs for confirmation, and the chiefs must confirm the adoption.
Teoria kane asagosano doni hadu wetarago tsugueta dokani weta exi onikizi antaderiwa here den rodiane circazamo. Note, anyone may adopt a person or many persons, but must get official sanction by the Rodianer in council.
Nana nerutianer wa hadiri wa nira te chi ka chok wa te wirara ko tone ka di nerutianer ne kana kera shara ang saguti sere charu ne weshwa on niro ona ka di chukwa weshun ne ukwana kera shara se waterion tarakne umwanato ne raushana raudi huachire tokani radi huachire suma wamterishane amsanta tenatu ne aushana ne jinu toti nakeratu tanu wahadia tata naku o mujoku ka askahawite tosa mkane unkanakerashara ahaturiat na usana chinu todi nakeratu ne Tonight the wire ne. Taga steady hot ne. Uma dokta ne skona.
When the adoption of anyone shall have been confirmed by the chiefs of the nation, the chiefs shall address the people of the nation and say, Now you of our nation, be informed, have ceased forever to bear their birth nation's name, and have buried it in the depth of the earth. Therefore, let no one of our nation ever mention the original name or nation of their birth. To do so will hasten the end of our peace.
Nana gadu gana kene rodi sona na ohunja dara. Ane zini hada yandi waziro da kanu zini wani toleno. Bayan wado ne tonzo triabe, wado no kan ne tonzo har. Bana ne kokne ga weni waja gana wa skana. The note: the name of the immigrant's nation or birthplace must never be mentioned, as it causes trouble or end of the peace.
Japani washanska. The one that toka muka toka ni kawachira kwegune raunu kweta ne wisk ni hunu huchake skane ke ne ero ahunne te chinum ni hadina kere ne wisk ni hunu huchake onuksi sagodi rori ne rodianus ne rahodina kerashara tanu ne katsohoanu ne wisk ni hunu hunsake ohudi tokose nano toka tukweta toka ni toka ni ukweta ke ahadiri warako tanu ero ohne tene wisk ni hunu hunsake tanu inu yasujo ono ne rutianer ne wisk ni hunsake toka ni ohne re ohwatu ne yohwato nyete Lari wakare nyes. Yoha hawe. Te watakaru. Achata ha. Kahun jini yutne. Kone go hatano. Nano yon rawe.
Probably.
On sakot konisha tene. Ungwe sunu atano. On sakotati. On sakona tunga sene. Ajata ha. Kahu jini yutne. One go hatano. Ohudi toko shechine. Rudi roris. Amsam tanti jinu. Nitonenu tanu jinu. Radi sahaya takwa.
Immigration. When a person or family belonging to the five nations desires to abandon their nation and the territory of the five nations, they shall inform the chiefs of their nation, and the council of the League of Five Nations shall take notice of it. When any person or any of the people of the five nations immigrate and reside in a distant region away from the territory of the League of Five Nations, the chiefs of the five nations at will may send a messenger carrying a broad belt of black shells, and when the messenger arrives, he shall call the people together or address them personally, displaying the belt of black shells, and they shall know that this is an order for them to return to their original homes and to their council fires.
Negadogiga Inardianesso Rudianasaina is a Sagudino, Unka, Erega Vanuto, the Unit had the Nagger in there. Which knew no one's out there. No one's out there. And on you're going to act on you on Eno. Nena, Cadaway near Dogasiga in Jersey or Arizona one at it. They get 20 yards away. Note, the Rhodianer may or may not recall an immigrant depending on the circumstances.
Jada ne washa dekeni. Ti hono ho jade. Ne o garaji. Yo ho jade. Ti jo takshawe. Ti ni yore. Ye yo tokte ne. Rawono ho jane to. Radina pere. Nekchi tonu. Ni hodina kerado ne ungue ungue. Rono ha. Tona jero tu. Ungue. Ronatu. Rono ha kadi. Raona o chinu. Ni hadi hawe tanu. Yahu ka. Nakora. Te hodiri wae ne. Ang tawa. Nikne sakayana roshra jutkune. She hutsta tina hene. Amha. Juri huakai.
The soil of the earth from one end to the other is the property of the people who inhabit it. By birthright, the Owehume, the original beings, are the owners of the soil which they own and occupy, and none other may hold it. The same law has been held from the oldest times.
Kadiho. The Tananuka, Actanuni to Nenus, to the other side on Howard, you get done and no idea how you know what's up. You get the Nadunka and the son Yaga. Even who you want out there. When the next night I'll do activity enough. You're going to go where around the mother. Note, the only legal opinion is that the natives of America were the first humans. They originated in the land they live on and occupy, and no foreigners have the right to take over the land. The so-called conquest of America is simply a barefaced robbery of Indian land.
Sabane washa asha. Ne shogaya disho. Ankne shakane gosha. Tanu. Nene. Shogaraji. Washogaya dumni. Nekti. Tigawana denyu. Roshune. Kayanera. Sera sua a wegu de sua we got no anda wadora chege tanu got no ne yuko chaya take tanu wa haye riste chinu not the gute kani.
The great Creator has made us of one blood, and of the same soil He made us. And as only different tongues constitute different nations, He established different hunting grounds and territories and made boundary lines between them.
내가 또 내기가 Kigitsin yugana gara sraya. However, the end is no not done. Not done down here. Ett hand jag nog är nog då now. Jag ni gado. Digana kana gara sra så. Jag hukka då ga så är det så var vi nej. Av de andra srayandage akten chasogona dawiad. Chasogona the weniosta. Note. Each nation has a boundary line to stay within. Also, no race of people has a God-given right to invade other races.
Jatani wasukayeri. Nanane. Tiwono mo jate toka. Skanagera shira toka ni tsukweta. Ahua dia dinyu tene wisk. Ni wono mo jake. Ya chiyo tukutako. Toka ni ko skanagera shira. Toka ni ko tsukweta. Saguti karuni ne wisk ni hono ho jake toka ni tahadi nyosko ne toka ni saguti ruhia konte tano toka to ni ku haro ne skono to ne rudianer o huari ne a share ko ne a shagotetta to ba sheku tono shadiere kiniko shuteri wata wate akweku akwe shuana te ko te chinu ni hadina kere ne wisk ni hono muchake. When any alien nation or individual is admitted into the League, the admission shall be understood only to be a temporary one. Should the person or nation create loss, do wrong, cause suffering of any kind to endanger the peace of the League, the League statesmen shall order one of their war chiefs to reprimand him or them. If a similar offense is committed, the offending party or parties shall be expelled from the territory of the League.
Nari honi viskukni on homo zage. Yana tere hakone tega na uida tukna hadi hage visk. Kigeshuza ayaga ne. Segun is rugeta di hatto kana ga sra sonwa. Amza hunjala. Ya tuk nigun di don ta do no jani viskukni on zage. Ko kisata tunatte ge awevo kigizini hadina on dawayade. Doga noa toga sige yona da sudage tuna odi er di niente no tuna di hage toga kai do nyawe to sto nyawe ni kana ga sarage ona honese yeno mo kana gora ne yeno kana di nave ta honese to nyu ja odi satsta ne toga siga weva odi ana sarenda ona dawea. There is a mistake made by our ancestors when they formed the Five Nations Confederacy. They limited the number of nations to that 5. Now, this particular law makes it illegal for any other nations to join. See? Now, if they had permitted other nations to keep on joining, there would now be maybe 4 or even 500 nations to have joined in this league, and there would have been alone. There would have been no other foreigners to come they wouldn't have been able to come into America.
Jadani washiwisk. Nonu ne. Tigayanero serate. Rayatare. Tonatre. Raun muchake ne wisk. Nihon muchake ne. Rawisakung hache ne. Yahakumuntakwe. Chito ang hadyo. Ne tonong rudianer chinong kanagera sera. Yahari wanong to. Tatuar ho tu tano. Ang huwa kwenyos te tano. Ang huwa ya tinyun tene. Naraw di na gera sera. Toni chi. Ang huya na rong sarayang ta ne. Chiki niyot ne. Rona jake. Tok ni kung. Ya tau di wanayang ta ne. Kachong haku ne. Wish ni honong hu jake.
When a member of an alien nation comes to the territory of the League and seeks refuge and permanent residence, the statesmen of the nation to which he comes shall extend hospitality and make him a member of the nation. Then he shall be accorded equal rights and privileges in all matters except as mentioned here.
Nagagi gajaknoni taweno tiamo zade tunatse dinoni hade nagagi gana wiskno no zare dana to non zoni to a haja. Ogi wa he zare ogi gana tono wiskno no zare dano now the wet aro toni tona no ha tona no dinakto dage tini na tra dinagere neko zinogi ga oni wa triadno si etando a piawa tanda hanu
Japani washiayak. Yahum kane. Kiwulong ho jade. Jinihadi. Rodia di nyumdum. Te hudi wanayon takene. Kasong haku ne. Wishk ni ulong ho jake. Ne kok ne. Rodia tarakon. Rona derinte rudiane ne kuk rudiwana ne kacanghaku ne tu hono chade ti hadi ne kwakshate yatte hudia na hoda andam torokte ne ahudi wanayonta ne Topa shiko wahuti wanayon tane yata hona te yon tare ne chini hudiri ho tane kanong shunike toka unkuwa wonumti ne shkenong kowa Tona te wene, skeno koa. Toa ni haro tanun toka ari ne.
Nobody of alien people who have been adopted temporarily shall have a vote in the council of the chief of the league, for only they who have been invested
with chieftainship titles may vote in the council. Aliens have nothing by blood to make claim to a vote, and should they have it, not knowing all the tradition of the League, might go against the Great Peace. In this manner, the Great Peace would be endangered and perhaps be destroyed.
Dico Kawanoro, ne tan jo kwagan, both pa dinado. Ne winay ka doon na rawana. Kanya singinay, tagan jo kwagan yas. Yani to kagan, diga kazohoana, to kanigana na nagasra, na design. Neko kana Rodiana, neko Rodiana na design. Toga siga tigana sadia tatso. Amadi wanduse naundadi na Rodiana sabodi wanduse. Nijiga zinizi ziniga wano da giga no kaanra sara. Nijiga rondo انك تحديد تيجنون aliens نلك تيونو مزاد انك تنون نتنوع ردي نراغ واي مزاقين نتولانو نلا يقودون تيجا يعني اونو وانسا تودادي نو وانسود نتنون نو كاندوغا توهم جادلا شنا ياتو دي دادي انا سويدي نزيني وجري هودنا نو توغا Tunzina hune additionundi udihundine kanre o en tuna notkahawe inaskana o nadi. No body of alien people. That is the word being used here. Is to mean voice. The word vote is used to mean voice, as there is no voting or balloting in the national or grand councils of the 5 nations. Only the Rodianer have a voice in the councils unless an individual is asked to speak by the Rodianer. Now, in the way this is presented, by aliens, they mean like the white people, but this is how this has been used to keep the other Indians from joining the Iroquois Confederacy by not allowing them to join, and this is what this amounts to. Only the 5 nations have a right. But the way the Ganawida wanted, he wanted all the Indians in America to be members and to have a great confederacy, a huge confederacy is what he wanted. But you cannot get that by not allowing the people to join even. This is the Indian people. Now this should be made clear that it's by aliens they mean people from Europe.
At the beginning of first contact with the Europeans, the Confederacy tried to bring Europeans under the law. But after years of experimenting with the Europeans, they seen that there was no way that the Europeans would accept the Ganiragoa. And this is what led to the event of the Tulo Wampum in later years. It's the fact that the Europeans couldn't accept the Great Law, could not live by that. They created the Tulo Wampum Agreement, that because the Europeans would not accept the Great Law, the Tulo Wampum clearly stated that the white man had his ways and his religions, and that's how he would live his life, and our people would live our life under the Great Law. There would never be any clash, never any forcing of religions and ways upon each other.
Jada ne wasn't zata. No ne. Rodia nesho. Ne re. Ashagudia dinyunte. Tunu tiwono mo jate tanu. Wam tu wetarago. Rodianer. Ashagudi rorichi. Hechut kotakko. Ashagudi rori oni. Dosa katke. Amde nyondo. Runuha. Amdamnutum. Tanu. Teno. Ahadio tate. Tokani. Ashagudi karewa tene wishni unumo jake. Tokani. Ahadiri huagaru ne. Shkeno goa tanu. Jiniori hoto tanu. Aoyanero shara sumha. Dosa. Teno. Tamni haro. Tokani. Ashagudi karewa te. Toka. Katkene. Watenakera sheraraku. Ahadikaru. Roadi rorichi. Watehesh. Asharichi. Wetaraku tanu. Ashwanate wate. Konichi. Ashwanate kohte. Jiroti chahaya to. Ohwari hunta. Shayatane. Ashare kowatsu. Neyo hari huhawe. Tanu. Aharu. Ishe. Shagunatum. Takwatahum sabat. Chinika. Riwas. Okatati. Kama iges. Nako rori. Tini tudi ni kumrota ne. Rodianer. Todi chahayo. Ohatum. Yuchini kumreda stoni. Ona kadi ne wisk. Ni hono ho jake rodianer. Wahumnehre. Sayachia de guate. Tano. Atste. Yaichia dundi. Ona kadi. Sagwat kawe tano. Sayagwari shiji. Yukwatu kwetarako. Ona kadi. Sewatahi sak. Ka nyamse sewe tanu. Yei chia toha awe kune se kweta suma. Ishe ya ii. Tate yukwa nyuskon tanu. Ishe ne se wasaji. Wa chiri wate. Ona kadi sa se watangi tanu. Era isawat chinu. Ni hadinakerene. Wishkni munu jake.
77. When the chiefs of the league decide to admit a foreign and an adoption is made, the chiefs shall inform the adopted nation that its admission is only temporary. They shall also say to the nation that it must never try to control, to interfere with, or to injure the five nations, nor disregard the great peace or any of its rules or customs. In no way should they cause disturbance or injury. Then shall the adopted nation disregard these injunctions. Their adoptions will be annulled and they will be expelled. The expulsion shall be in the following manner. The council shall appoint one of their war chiefs to convey the message of annulment, and he shall say, "You," naming the nation, "listen to me while I speak. I am here to inform you again of the will of the Five Nations Council. It was clearly made known to you at a former time. Now the chiefs of the Five Nations have decided to expel you and cast you out. We disown you now and annul your adoption. Therefore, you must look for a path in which to go and lead away all your people. It was you, not we, who committed wrong and caused this sentence of annulment. So then go your way and depart from the territory of the Five Nations and away from the League."
Hade nuossa zaba. Siinä on skaroras som var det den visknyon on zage 1714 syrona. Ano watuna wadi nakto tasedino no daage no zage. Nekti zudi akta din hade nagara din naraga. To wadi wonondo ka jokno no mozo zahe no. Sukituno za izam wadi antinone zundona agata dinage. Nena huni tuna hadi lezun na dego haje. Izin da hunne ezizi o na ma tosuno. Na dinage na hadi ye. Ya huni ya tad na zunzuzi akta. Tin hadi nage din naraga. No na wadi na kutta. Tanya akten betona no knesu do wayada. Nekti za hadi tsari zinun tadinage no hara no weda. Aktigada na doga siga akti hadide aga hage digana dum skaroras tanu tuno da dinage ke zinun wa no hara no mozage. Adi wanundu na hunjala giga yak no mozage. Ne tunizi dom zonik na daga na wida. Avevo se ne hadi gigana da nagrenyo no go unwera nagara sura soma ska hundu. Ya no dis no chohana sinitna yak no mozage. Nena da di jihan sta di hona gigana londo no hana tona hadisa. Ti yati do git hodi jokon ha. Noi londo awe tunya hunne no tade nagrenyo no go unwesu nagara sura gero. Suktia ya tu dei guarenia de giga a so de guraksa de ginero no amweso ne ya no no mozare ya so de sanaksa sa ne kanyo ga ara ne wa unigo ne ha kadisero was na de tadiwende na de io tana ha radiwende na tana ai jokunan. Note, the Tuscaroras were admitted into the Iroquois Confederacy in 1714 and given a piece of Oneida territory. It was too close to white settlements and they asked for land further away and so were given land in Seneca territory. They are not a foreign nation. And the reason why they didn't want to be too close to white settlements was because they were being assailed by the white nations where they were. They were killed and they were being sort of wasted away. There weren't many of them left. So they don't want to be anywhere near the white settlements because of that. A different situation would exist if an alien Indian nation living in their own territory asked to join the Iroquois Confederacy. which was the original plan of Teganawida, to have all Indian nations to unite in one big alliance. He did not want to adopt other Indian nations. To adopt means to make them like children. This is what happens when they adopt in other nations. They become like small, you know. They never got beyond 6 nations. The missionaries took the credit for this. They admitted they went to all Indian nations and spread propaganda against the Iroquois Confederacy, especially against the Mohawk, whom they considered the most militant and most able organizers.
Chātane wasa sāte katkene tihono ho chāte o hu chātaro ne wisk tihono ho chāke tokani ahadi hoye na ne skena goa deri washeruni ne tihono ho chāte te nyoto ne tan sakudi ni pun ragoni tihono ho chāte ne ahadiri hoye na ne skana o
78. Whenever a foreign nation enters the League or accepts the Great Peace, the 5 nations and the foreign nation shall enter into an agreement and compact by which the foreign nation shall endeavor to persuade the other nations to accept the Great Peace.
Saudani waso saudeus. So what did you want to say? No, I am not going to say. So what do you know that skana on the water on the Zunigun in Nagareño, Nungasuma. Note, they asked other nations to help spread peace among mankind.
chātane wasa joktu aderi oksera skana awadi tegeni tohderi huntake tanu ahaderi wate jate askanene royane iko tanu ne aska asare koa toka yuterio awego asagorori ne wisk ni hadi asare koatsune wisk ni hono ho jake nanda de we no ta ne amterio tanu ne lununque ahona da de we no tam Chinika hawi tanu kanun tahadio digestion ne radismos ne skena goa.
War. Wampum 79. War. Skanawadi shall be vested with a double office, duty and double authority. 1/2 of his being shall hold the statesman title, and the other half shall hold the title of war chief. In the event of war, he shall notify the 5 war chiefs of the League and command them to prepare for war, and have the men ready at the appointed time and place for engagement with the enemy of the Great Peace.
Näitä saadaan ihan tänne viskniunnomat saage. Avego ne rydiä nessa, avego ashalle goagane. Ne trää adorme skanaodi. Det gör de ihåg, ainakin rönnä. Avego ne viskniana grasrage, och det går annars avego ashalle goagane. Vilket ju inte så teeni. Vilken är Asale Watson. Ne wa mundu gigana. Singari hoto nuwa. Ana gajo. Kazo huana ha design. Tuno ha design asaya. Jiora yauni he nana yamado este. Kaska awite. Digana asale Watson. Akte had tusadide get na nawa. Ine taza design asaya na kazo huana. Note, at the time the Confederacy was formed, all chiefs were war chiefs, and this included Skanawadi, the Garihova, and so forth. After the new order of things, the war chiefs became a part of the National and Grand Council, until they died, and afterwards, the war chiefs became a separate entity.
Sabe when you wash no ne kazohoana ne whisk ni hunu hun zake ne re akayo ta ne skena go jinu ni hadi nakere ne ti hunu hun zate tanu ya tam ta ne ahadiri huaye na neskena goa ne kadi onkari huni atuno hesteji to chicha hayo ne whisk ni hunu chake ne oyuderiyo to kadi nichi ne shake ne whisk ni hunu chate akayo ta ne skena goa ok tote shakunanu dunse tanu on shaguti shani ne te hudiri horu ne ahuti ta ne skena goa.
When the Council of the League has for its object the establishment of the great peace among the people of an outside nation, and that nation refuses to accept the great peace, then by such refusal they bring a declaration of war upon themselves from the 5 nations. Then shall the 5 nations seek to establish the great peace by a conquest of the rebellious nation.
Ana gado gi tote ni awon no wakanaye. Ne gi gana no wasoma. Ona se to da wana no to jezi. To da hoderi wai ne. Ne tu de den ort gi gana ett av de adonzunina da. On the wet awalishi. Ezo tu de from the several ones. Note, there have been times when people were made good by force. No doubt the rebellious nation was acting aggressively,